Okay, well, as you saw in yesterday's video, we were throwing some knives at the knife board because I always try to aim small, miss small. I always tend to slice my cords on these Hibben triple cord throwers. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you guys how to actually record these knives. That's why you find a lot of people hating on these knives, because the cord comes off so easily. Now if you try to get your groupings nice and tight when you throw your knives, it's inevitable that these are just going to slice open all the time. That's why I like to throw these on separate boards, or sort of like one up the top, in the middle and down below, so you stay away from each other because they're very easy to cut. So today I'm going to show you how I cord my knives. So we'll take our two knives, we're going to do them in two different colours. So what you're going to need, of course, is your two knives. You're going to need a Stanley knife, some double-sided tape, some fuse wire or any type of thin wire, some scissors, some pliers. You don't have to use this, but I use some IsoPro just to clean the handle off from the old double-sided tape that I've got on there, and any sticky residue from the cord. And of course you're going to need your cords. Now I buy these from eBay for about $5 a pop. I think they're 80 meters in length. I'll put some links in the description down below if you're interested in buying some and recording your own knives. So let's just cut the cords from these old knives so we get a nice clean handle, and then we'll start recording them, and I'll show you how I do it. So we'll just cut all these off. Very careful, don't cut yourself. Okay, as you see, there's a little bit of double-sided tape left there from when I recorded them about a week or so ago, and on this side I've got a little bit of a longer one, so we need to get those two off. That's where you use your Stanley knife, or one of those other little blades that you use to get the old registration labels off your windscreen. They work quite well as well. I find this is just as good. Okay, we managed to finally get our double-sided tape off here. So I've just scraped it all off there. There's a little bit of a residue left on here. So what I like to do is get my IsoPro. You can use methylated spirits or anything. Spray a little bit on there, a little bit on there. Just give it a good wipe down. Get all that double-sided tape residue off from the last lot, because you're going to be applying the new double-sided tape on this lot. Okay, now the way I like to do it, so in my right hand I've got the handle of the knife, left hand I've got the blade. I get my double-sided tape, and as you see with these Hibben cord grip throwers, there's a little notch here and a little notch here. You don't want to exceed those notches, so you just want to put it within that little guide. This is what's going to be used for the grip to stick on. So you cut it down on this side. So as you see, that's what it would look like on one side. And on the other side, you don't have to cut quite as long. About that length piece, and then you just put that at the top here, such as that. Okay, now we're ready to grip. So what I like to do, so once again, blade in the left hand, handle in the right hand. We take this side off, the top side, we take the double-sided tape off, and we'll use our green cord just to begin with. And what I like to do is put it at least about halfway along, about there, and don't start within the notch, just give it 1 or 2 strands just above it, because you're going to slide that back eventually. So I just like to start up there, and I go once, twice, and now it falls in through. And that's it. As you're holding that one down there with your thumb, you keep on going. Just wrap it around. Doesn't have to be too tight, because you're actually going to push them together once you finish. Check the other side just to make sure you're not overlapping on anything. And just keep on going along. As you're going along, just push the cords back so they're nice and tight. Just make sure my little roll doesn't fall off. This is the tedious part, where you're just consistently wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. Now, as you can see, very soon we're going to be at the start of this little cord that we laid to begin with. So once you get to there, once you cover that cord like that, then you turn the knife around the other way like that and pull this one off. So pull that off here like that. So you've got them both exposed now. Now this is the most important bit. Get your fuse wire. There's my little fuse wire. Actually, here's my little fuse wire here. Bend it evenly, so you've got the same length on both sides, and place that along the handle of the knife, just past the notch up the top here, like that, and continue gripping. Make sure the 2 bits are on top of the handle there. Bit fiddly when you start, but then it's okay. And as I said, just continue gripping until you get right down to the bottom. I'll just pull a bit more of this off. Okay, and that's it. Once you've got that fuse wire in place, everything now will fall into place. So keep on going, keep on going. And you want to go, as we did at the top of the handle, 2 strands past that little notch, because you're going to pull it back so it fits in when you tighten the cord itself. Okay, we don't have much to go. Alright, we're nearly there. Alright, so I pretty much reached that notch there now. I'm just going to go past it once and twice. Now be careful you don't cut yourself from this blade here. Now what I like to do, we don't want to pull this cord outside of the cord up here halfway along. So what I like to do is just measure it. I pretty much cut it just to the bottom of the blade there. So get your scissors, cut it like that. Lift this up with your finger like that. Place this underneath like so. And now when you're pulling this fuse wire, pull it up the top here, because this is where we had our double-sided tape. So grab both ends, pull it upwards. Make sure you don't cut yourself. Can get a little bit tough here. This is where you need your pliers if you can't do it with your hands. Once again, make sure you don't cut yourself. Pull it through. Oop, a little bit of the wire got left in there. That's how strong that double-sided tape is. And that's it. Just get a little bit here. A little bit of it came out actually, so we'll just tack that underneath. Actually, it's the fuse wire. A little bit more. That must be pretty strong double-sided tape. Okay, that's it now. And from here, just push. See how that's overlapped down here? Just push that down on this side, push it down on this side, and just keep on working it down until you get a nice, even strand across. Push it down on the double-sided tape, and there is your brand new cord-gripped Hibben knives. That's how they would have come from the factory. Now, the way they do it virtually, very similar way, but they use glue within there. So when I did go through my first lot of knives, I noticed there was a whole bunch of glue residue there. So, and that's it. You've got a brand new knife ready to throw again. Hopefully not hitting each other, because I try as hard as I try not to hit the knives when I'm throwing them. There's always that odd shot that you can't help, and you sort of like whack it in and it just cuts it again. So that's our green one. We're going to do our black one. So once again, this is the old cord from when I was throwing yesterday. We're going to slice that off. Just get a Stanley knife. The cord is quite strong, so just be careful that you don't slice your fingers or anything like that. If you've got a nice sharp knife, you could use that as well. Once you cut those first few strands, then you can just unwind it like that. So just pull all that off. And once again, and if you do cord grip these and you damage the cord within a couple of throws, and then you want to cord grip them again, sometimes the double-sided tape is still working. So this one is still sticky. I don't think I'll really have to replace that one. I'll just check what the other side looks like. Of course, just pull that little bit of cord off. So that looks still pretty sticky. That one's not too bad, so I don't think we'll bother. So once again, we're going to do the black one this time round. And as I said before, if you're interested in the cords that I use, I'll put a link in the description below. You can get yourself some. 80 meters for $5 is not too bad. So once again, handle in your right hand, blade in your left. Place it halfway along, like that. And the little notch there, make sure you don't fall in yet. Put it towards the edge, nice and tight. So you're going to push that in once you finish that last little bit of strand. Okay, and start your winding all the way along until you cover this bit here. Actually, we made it a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter. And just keep on going. And once you get towards the end there, that's when you place the fuse wire or any type of wire on the other side. That's what you're going to need to pull the cord back through for it to sit in nice and flush. And they look really good. Once you finish all three and stick them back in the actual sheath, it's like you've just purchased them straight out of the box, brand new. So okay, we've reached that first one. We turn it around, such as there. We get our fuse wire, which I've got here. Place that along. Oops. Place that along the handle. This is the little fiddly bit. So, and you could put this in a vise if you want to do it that way, but I like to do everything as is. Okay, like so. And once again, just start gripping. Give yourself a little bit more. Oh, I've dropped another one. I'm in a tight spot here in the garage, and there's not a hell of a lot of room to work in, so Okay, we're getting towards the end. We'll just check we haven't overlapped. That looks nice on that side. Our fuse wire looks nice and straight. We don't have a little bit, only got a little bit more to go. As you can see, if you can pick that up on the camera there, you see where the notch is just there. We're going to go over, over. Now we're pretty much on it there, so we're going to do another 2 from here. So we're going to go 1, 2, and this is where we need to cut it. So once again, I normally cut it just at the base here. So we get our scissors. Slice it off. Lift this little fuse wire up. Place the rope underneath. So that's what it looks like. That comes out on the camera. And slowly pull it through towards the top, because that's where we have our double-sided tape, yeah? So pull it towards the top. Just give it a bit of a wiggle. If your hands are slipping like mine are, just get your pliers. And that's it. Actually, that's come through, so I cut it a little bit longer. Oh no, that was the old bit of cord from the last knife, so I pulled that out. That was still stuck on the double-sided tape. So that's what it looks like. So once again, right hand, grab the little cord on that side, left hand not cord on this side, and just start pushing it towards the middle until it falls into that little notch where Gil has provided for you. Make sure you can't see any of the blade underneath. And once again, brand new. Voila. And that'll last you for a long, long time if you do not get the other knife to slice it. So the only time I need to cord these is when I'm out there and I think, okay, I'm going to go for, you know, aim small, miss small, and see how tight I can get my settings, my group, and that's when I start slicing them. So for the next week or so, I'll keep the knives right away from one another, sort of like throw different slats or one above the other, so I don't sort of like damage my handiwork. So there you go. That's the black one, and that's the green one. As I told you before, the reason why I chose green, I love all things to do with Rambo. It's the reason why I went with the Hibben knives. Anything or anyone associated with the Rambo films, I just love. So with Gil designing both the Rambo 3 tribute knife and the machete, Rambo 4 machete, these were the original knives that I went with, and I've gotten so used to them I don't think I could sort of like change to another knife. So I think this design has been around since the early 90s. I think they're called his karate knife design. So there you go. So I've still got one more to do, but now you get the idea. So if you've got some throwing knives at home, and they don't have to be Gil Hibben ones, if you've got any knife at home and you just want to throw some cord grip on them, you can do that with any single one of them. So I'll put some links in the description below of these cords that I bought, $5 for about 80 meters, and give it a go. It's not a lot of money to waste if you stuff it up. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you again real soon. Bye.